And joining me now from the Caledonia Curling Club in Regina is Sandra Schmirler and her daughter Sarah. Hi, you two.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How old is she, Sandra?
She's 4 months. She was born September 15th.
She's absolutely adorable.
Yes, she is.
Now, 9 weeks after she was born, you won your Olympic berth in Brandon with just a breathtaking shot. Tell me about that.
Well, we were in deep trouble going into the 7th end. We'd just given up a bad 3-ball in the 6th, and they had one socked in the 7th, and we only had one shot to come off the side and roll into the forefoot to knock one of theirs out, and that's what happened.
What was going through your mind when you made the shot?
Well, I knew we were in a bit of trouble, and all I wanted to do was hit the broom, throw the right weight, and then everything should work out. So I was trying to just stay calm, but it was a tough situation.
Do you ever panic? I mean, you do look so calm out there. Do you ever say, oh my gosh, this is it?
Well, I might be calm on the outside, but I'm panicking inside. Especially in those tough situations, you really want to play well, and you want to make the shots that matter. And if you don't, then things aren't going to work out for you, and that's what would have happened in Brandon had we not made that shot in 7th.
Well, I also gather that you could not have been playing all that much curling if your daughter was just born 9 weeks earlier or 10 weeks earlier.
No, I hadn't been on the ice that long, but probably I was on the ice for about a month. But that month I really worked hard to get back at it, and my team was really supportive and helped me out a lot.
Well, this is going to be really interesting in Nagano now. This sport has been a demonstration sport since 1988. It's finally a full medal sport. Did you have anything to do with that? Were you lobbying the OAC in any way?
No.
You must have been so happy when you heard it, though.
Oh, for sure. Like, we knew it was demonstration in Calgary and Albertville, and Lillehammer it wasn't demonstration, so it was a bit of touch and go whether it was going to come back for the Japan Olympics, but once it was, and once the selection process was put in place for the Canadian teams, we were just ecstatic because we were included in that selection process. What
do you think, though? I keep hearing people say curling shouldn't be a full medal sport. I don't know why they're saying that, but what do you think about that?
Well, obviously it's disappointing to hear people think and say those types of things about this great sport. There's different levels you can play at, and different types of intensities and different skills and abilities that are needed for each level, and that's like a lot of different sports. So if people think that this doesn't belong in the Olympics, well, then they have to get real, because it does. What about the teams to beat now? For the Canadian team, who are you looking forward to meeting on the ice? Well, I know that every team there, all 7 teams, are the best in the world, no doubt about it. It's going to be the toughest championship we've ever played in. I think it'll be just as tough as Brandon, if not tougher. You've got Dorothy Nordby, 2-time world champion, Elizabeth Gustafsson from Sweden, 2-time world champion, and a lot of participants there have played in the world. So it's just going to be a real battle, and we're going to have to play well to get a medal. You know, when I hear commentators talking about curling and about our entire Olympic team, they always single you out for a gold. That's putting a lot of pressure on you, is it not? Oh, definitely. If they're thinking we're going to be able to walk in there and just take the gold, they're sadly mistaken, because these teams can play, and they can play hard, and the worlds that we won, they weren't easy. We had to work hard to win those worlds, and that's the same thing that's going to happen in Japan, but we just want to go and enjoy the experience and play as well as we can, and whatever happens, happens. But is there any other team there that's been together as long as yours? Your team's been together now since 1990. Yeah, I would say that Elizabeth Gustafsson from Sweden, I think their team has been together just about that long, if not a little longer. I'm not sure about the other teams, but I know Elizabeth's team is a really good team, and I think when you put a team together that's been together for that long, they have a really good chance because of the communication and everything is there. Did you have a rink in your backyard? Did you have a curling rink in your backyard when you grew up in Saskatchewan? Well, every small town does. I grew up in a place called Bigger, and there was a 4-sheet of artificial ice there for curling, and it was only probably about 3 blocks from the house, and you just that's what you did. So you didn't flood the backyard and paint the target on it then? No, we didn't do that, not at all. Are you taking Sarah with you to Nagano? No, that would be a little bit too tough, too much of a time difference, and it'd be really tough on her, I think. So right now she's going to stay home with her sisters. But if you win the gold medal, you'll both be on David Letterman, right? Hey, we got a call from Letterman. I don't know. Really? What did he want to know? Well, we got a call from someone who was trying to get curling on his show, but it didn't work out. But that's okay. Maybe we'll be on if we happen to win a medal. Well, he won't be able to ignore you then. Look, best of luck to you, and your daughter is beautiful. Congratulations on that. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Bye.
Sandra Schmirler and the rest of her world champion rink just got back from curling in Switzerland, and they're already planning their trip to Japan. An itinerary like that makes for a lot of paperwork.
Some of it is from the Canadian Olympic Association that we have to read through, and I think it's sponsorship agreements, and then there's a free massage from somebody, and some things from the Canadian Curling Association. It seems like every time we get together, there's more paper.
Life's been pretty hectic for the Schmirler team since late last fall, when they won the right to represent Canada in the Olympics. And none of it would be happening right now if it hadn't been for the shot.
I tried to make sure that I knew what the ice was, throw it clean, and whatever happens, happens. And as soon as I let it go, I knew we were close because I didn't tweak it out and I didn't push it in. And when it was made, well, you could tell that the emotions were just out of control. We're really happy that shot kind of turned the game around for us.
Meet the team.
Since then, it's been almost non-stop. Public appearances, photo opportunities, interviews, and oh yeah, even a little curling. All of it leading up to the Olympics. But the foursome isn't sure what to expect.
We feel honored, but we don't know about the Olympic Games because we've never been to the Olympic Games. So we know it's big because of the amount of attention that have been placed on our team to this date. But we really still haven't perceived how big this is. I think that'll hit us once we get to Japan.
Nagano will mark the first time curling is a full medal sport in the Olympics. The idea of competing in sport's most prestigious showcase is taking some getting used to for second Joan McCusker.
It hasn't really sunk in. You know, curlers don't think of themselves as quote athletes, you know, and no one has ever done this before. So as soon as we won and people start calling you, you know, an Olympian and things like that, you think, what? Like all of a sudden I'm fit, and the celluloid is just gonna fall off. Like we're just gonna become such great athletes. I don't know. It's weird.
But Schmirler doesn't think it's much of a stretch to have curling in the Olympics.
There is a physical aspect of the game, especially if you're working front end, because there's a lot of sweeping and a lot of interval type training that needs to happen. It's not as intense, obviously, as some of the other sports, but if you look at the components of sport, each sport will have more of one thing than another. Curling is definitely a lot of skill.
Tonight, Schmirler's taking on Glenna Frizzell's rink in a regular league game. But isn't it tough taking on a three-time world champ and Olympic representative?
They have to have somebody to play, and we're here for them to punch around the ice. But Sandra and I are friends, so I can say that.
Frizzell is overly modest. It's this kind of day-in, day-out competition that has made the Schmirler rink as good as it is. Some of the best players in the world curl right here in Saskatchewan. It's our game.
When you look at the small towns around the province, you got the skating rink and you have the curling rink. It's the hub of activity that goes on in small town Saskatchewan in the wintertime. So it's an integral part of who we are, I think, in Saskatchewan.
Third, Jan Betker. Front end, Marcy Gooderite and Joan McCusker. And Sandra herself. All of these women grew up in small towns in Saskatchewan, and that's why they'll be representing their province as well as their country when they get to the Olympics.
Our hearts are here in this province, born and raised here. Every time we go there, to any area, Saskatchewan is always part of I guess, a piece that we take with us because that's where we're from.
Competing in the Olympics actually hasn't been the #1 priority for these women lately. Over the last 18 months, they've had more important things to concentrate on. 4 more important things, to be exact.
Okay, careful.
In the last year and a half, every member of the Schmirler rink has given birth. As Sandra likes to say, it was her best delivery ever. Joan McCusker admits it's tough balancing her family, her career, and her hobby as a world-class competitor.
Sometimes you get really tired of working really hard, leaving the kids behind, getting a babysitter, and believe it or not, traveling. I never thought I'd ever say it, but sometimes you get sick of going to the airport and traveling somewhere.
The jet lag of returning from Switzerland is catching up to the Schmirler rink. They're losing this game. They lose a lot, actually, and people are always surprised. There's a lot of pressure on them to win gold.
From the team itself, not that much. Outside of the four of us, lots. Because I guess history kind of sets that up for people. Because we've won the world three times, people think we're going to walk in there and it's just going to be easy. But I got news for them that the 3 worlds that we won, we had to work hard to make that happen.
I think I'd lie if I didn't say that I'm shooting to be in the playoffs and shooting to be in that gold medal game and hope that we have our best game. That would definitely be my goal, is I think we are good enough to be in the final match and win it.
The next time we see Sandra Schmirler and her rink curl, it'll be in the Olympic tournament. These women know the eyes of an entire province will be on them. From Aberdeen to Zenon Park, young curlers will be watching, dreaming the Olympic dream.
Don't give up. It's out there if you want it. And find 3 other players that have the same dreams, the same aspirations, can commit to the sport, and you can be sitting in this chair talking to you in the next Olympic Games.
Paul Dietrich, CBC News, Regina.